folks. Morning. Thanks for coming out on this special day. This morning we're going to I'd like to recognize a few folks, and then we're going to have a word from Mayor Trinks, Rick Hazelton from the Public Building Commission, and Chief Donald Melanson. So I'd like to recognize all the members of the Town Council that are here. I believe most of those are folks over there. If you want to raise your hand. We also have members of our Public Building Commission that are here, and they've done a great job over the last several years. And we also have with us today State Representative Tammy Zawitowski, and I don't believe I've missed anybody else in terms of elected officials, so thank you very much. So I'm going to turn this over to our mayor, Mayor Donald Trinks, for a few words of welcome.
Yeah. So far I've worked for, I could earn $10 if I limboed under that, but I don't think any of you came to see that.
Oh, yes, we did.
Except you. So Representative Garibay unfortunately had a prior commitment, but she sends her best wishes to everyone here. She's going to try to make it while the tours are going on. But you know, we as a town council were so proud to watch this project from the start and the process through, and watching the Public Building Commission do just an amazing job. And we were honored to bring it to the citizens of Windsor for a referendum vote, which passed handily. So to the police that are here, if you wonder if your community supports you, look no further than this brand new building. Because thank you. The town of Windsor residents support what you do and how you do it. This police department was so well thought out and planned because as we know, modern policing is changing faces constantly, and this building is ready to change as it's needed, and all of the different nuances that are involved in police work today. So I want to thank my council members, all huddled together over there, since we haven't seen each other for months. And this is the first time I've worn a tie since February, so you're welcome. But I just want to say thank you to the town of Windsor, thank you to the police for the great job they continue to do. Public Works, we're excited about them having a new modern facility as well. And the work that's going on down at 330 Windsor Ave in the former police department. It's very strange to say that. But again, to keep changing with the times for a modern fire department and ambulance. So you should all be very proud of yourselves for the support you've given and the support that you continue to give to our police. And I promised I would be brief. And so that will be it. I would like to introduce one of the amazing people of our amazing Public Building Commission. By the way, someday this will be a trivia question. What municipal project came in under budget and on time? Police Department. Thanks to the fine work of Rick Hazelton and his group of Public Building Commissioners. Mr. Hazelton, sir, thank you.
Nice to see you all here. I'd like to introduce the Public Building Commission members that I know are here. Gary Johnson over here, who's the vice chair. I don't know whether I don't know where Rusty is here, but Lee Alford is here somewhere back there. Jim Bennett is here back there. George Roberlin is here, and George Bullock is not here. So you have 5 out of 7 that are here. Great job. It's great working with the people that built this, Castle Booze and La Rosa Building Group. Great people to have meetings with. Everybody got along. Everybody got it, even through COVID. Everybody got through that. From March until we finished it. So I just want to thank them for all the hard work they've done. And thank you all for showing up. I'm done. Let's introduce the police chief, Don.
Thank you. Thanks, Rick. What a wonderful day and great accomplishment. It's great to be here. Thank you for coming out. I want to follow on what Rick and the mayor said in thanking some people that really brought this facility to life. I'm looking around, there's, the council members and the mayor for, providing the funding and the support. You have Town Manager Souza, who led the way with planning going back quite a ways, 2004, I believe, the building started planning. We have the town engineer, Bob Jarvis, out here. Bob, thank you for coming. The key people that really we met with on a regular basis going back, a couple years in the planning. So we have the building and facilities manager, Whit Presh. Whit, thank you. Our clerk of the works for the project, Jim Russo. Jim. Our architects, I see Freddie here, and Castle Booth and Brian. Thank you for coming, Paul. We met many times on planning this, thank you. And our general contractor with La Rosa Building Group, I see Mark and Roma Santilli here. So guys, thank you very much. You guys really made this a wonderful project to be part of, to come in, like they said, under budget, on time, actually ahead of schedule, just wonderful. And of course, to thank the residents. And I've spoken to many of you. Your support for our community and for law enforcement and public safety in town is wonderful. And to provide funding is absolutely wonderful. As the police chief, I strive every day to ensure that our department hires the best officers, has the best equipment, and provides the best training so that our officers can safely and effectively carry out their mission of serving our citizens and community in a manner that will improve the quality of life for all. This new police facility provides capabilities to ensure that our organization can meet the expectations of our residents for generations to come. In addition to increasing safety and security, our new facility offers areas for state-of-the-art officer training, public safety emergency dispatching, for proper evidence processing and storage, and for the safe processing of those arrested for crimes. We all know that over the past several months, police in our country has been under intense scrutiny, with some even calling for abolishing police. That the town of Windsor has dedicated tremendous resources to ensure our police officers have the facility and tools available to them to carry out our mission shows resounding support for the work they do on a daily basis. I can't thank the officers enough for the job they go out and do every day to provide safety for us. I am honored to lead the men and women of our police department and to be part of such a great community that is Windsor. To all of you and to all our residents, thank you for your steadfast support and your show of support for our officers. I promise that we will put this new facility to great use to ensure we continue to provide professional and constitutional policing in Windsor for all. Again, thank you, and for providing this wonderful facility for our police department. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Before we cut the ribbon and allow all of you folks to enjoy this fabulous new facility, I wanted to say a few words and recognize a few people as well. I particularly want to recognize Bob Gustafson. Bob has been a longtime member of our Public Building Commission and was with us when we started this venture many, many years ago. I also want to recognize Joe Novak. Joe passed away in the last year, but Joe, again, was a fabulous member of our Public Building Commission, and so thank you to Joe. So this project would not be possible without the leadership of Mayor Trinks and our past town council members. Particularly, I'd like to recognize Councilor Don Jepson and our former Deputy Mayor, Jody Terranova. Don and Jody led the Finance Committee through multiple years of discussions, significant alternatives in terms of how we as a community could afford an investment of this level. In 2018, as the mayor mentioned, the voters approved a $33.9 million bond referendum, which created this facility as well as the new police and EMS facility on 340 Bloomfield Avenue. So thank you to all the residents who came out and voted back in November 2018 to show your support for not only Windsor community today, but for many decades to come. I'd like to once again acknowledge Rick Hazelton and all members of the Public Building Commission for their guidance and leadership throughout this project. The design team of Castle Booz Associates, they've been with us through dozens and dozens of iterations. And I can remember many meetings when I said, this thing just costs too much money. How can we make this be the best facility possible, but how can we get it in on with a little fewer dollars as much as we can? The leadership on a day-to-day basis of our Public Works Director and Town Engineer Bob Jarvis, our Facilities Superintendent Whit Presh, and our Clerk of the Works Jim Russo were invaluable. Very, very rarely did I have to mediate any discussions or arguments, and so for me that's a sign of a great design team with a great builder with the Rosa Building Group. So thank you very much to all those folks. So this building will serve us, this facility will serve us for many, many decades to come. Most importantly, it helps to bring the community together. You recall our former facility on Bloomfield Avenue didn't really have any community facility function areas. And this building here, as you'll see in a few moments, has tremendous ability for community gatherings and events to be held here. So that is a completely, I said, an extra. It's something that came in to be incorporated within our planning to make sure that the community could use their police facility going forward. So with that, I'd like to invite up Representative Castle Booz to join us. And then we also have Mayor with us. And we're going to cut this ribbon so we can officially open the Windsor Police Department.
Big project, big scissors.
All right. All right.
Wow. Oops.
All right.
Hold on. Okay.
All righty.
Great, thank you very much. That concludes the ceremony portion of the event today. So we will be giving tours. We have officers that are going to be escorting people through. We're going to keep the group small, as 5 or 6 people with one officer. As we tour the building, we'll schedule them about every 5 minutes apart so we can maintain social distancing as we go through the building.
All right, is everybody here? All right, so here's the lobby for the police department. Have you been in here inside yet?
No, I've been in.
Wait, Sue Woolman hasn't brought you in here yet? No. No, man, I'm surprised. Well, this is our records division, so anytime you come in, you want to have contact with our, you need to pick up reports, if you need to, basically get in touch with us. You have records on this side, and you have our dispatch center over on this side here. So if you're coming in, you need to file a report, talk to one of our fantastic dispatchers. I have to say that because she's standing right there.
Hi, Donna.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
We have to have down this hallway here. We have a couple of bathrooms. We also have a giant training room. So now we can actually host training versus going to other facilities. So now we have instructors coming here to host them. So we have officers from different agencies coming in to actually train right here on our facilities. Which is very impressive. All right, follow me down this. Window you will look at, and this is going to be what you're looking in the records. They take care of all of our, we do a lot of paperwork in this job. So anything that we do, anything that we file, they take care of. How long we keep it, and pass it on to whoever needs it. Record supervisor. Now you come into the big boss offices. This is Suzanne Ryan. She's the chief assistant. She basically runs the police department. So she sits right here. Chief and captain have gorgeous offices right on the side. So these are from lieutenant up. This is where the lieutenants up will actually be sitting. We are not using that. It's such an old facility. It's just such a difference than what we used to. So they get their own way. Hey, no, they let us walk right in. Hold on, let me kind of catch up to it. A lot of doors. A lot of doors. And there's keypads on everything. We try to keep everything secure. And we never had that before, so it's just such a more secure facility. I don't know anything we've ever had.
But you need it.
We really do.
Getting up to us and.
All right, we're gonna take a right down here.
A week ago.
Start heading to the building department. Right?
Oh, what did we do? We did a.
Not painted, they were photos.
We got our sergeant's office. So we have 6 patrol sergeants. So we have supervisors who are running the shifts day to day. They all have offices, desks right here in this office. So these are the guys who are running these day-to-day operations. They do a ton of work, so they get a nice new office. And then right here on the left after that, which is connected right to the sergeant's office, this is our briefing room. So what happens is every day between shifts, you have a day shift, switch it over to an evening shift. Everybody will get together. We talk about what happened, what you need to know, just in case something goes bad and those officers aren't here. This is where a lot of information is passed along.
That's okay. Good.
Good morning.
I don't go too deep into it, so we can. But you can see we have the items we've never had before on modern fuming hoods, drying chambers, any type of violent crime, anything where we need to really treat evidence properly. We have kind of been behind in times, and we now have great technology, good resources and equipment to do what we need to do. So our detectives do a lot of work in this room already. They're already doing a lot of work in this room. So we'll back over here. My favorite place is coming up on the right. This is the detective division. I'm the detective sergeant now.
And you are whom?
Sergeant Messina. Sorry, I should have
Messina.
introduced myself. So this is our detective division. That is my office in the corner. I am very grateful for this new facility.
It's beautiful.
So we have right now we have 5 detectives working in this office, and when I tell you they are busy, they are busy. They do a lot of cases. So this is before you get into the detective division, you always wonder what they do in here. They do a lot of work. So I'm always amazed how much they can pull off and what they can get done. Very time-consuming, tedious work too. Oh man, people are already dropping stuff here, huh? Yeah. Also one of my favorites, I love the gym. We have this new gym facility.
State of the art, eh?
Yeah, our equipment is, we have a lot of the old equipment we had, but the room itself is gorgeous.
Oh, wow.
The, we have to take a fitness test every year. We have to pass our 1.5 miles, our push-ups, our sit-ups, and from about my time down, about 12 years now, we have to take an annual fitness test. And this is great for trying to stay in shape.
Maybe
Not
you
to
could
mention-
maybe you could recoup a little money and, create memberships here.
I'll have to talk to the chief about that one. I don't know, but it's this is a great training facility for the officers. So we're very grateful. We've got some TVs. I don't know how to turn them on. I would turn them on for you, but I usually just turn the music on and then go that route. Yeah, we got some bikes, treadmills. Our locker rooms are fantastic. I mean, we won't dig through those. The chief talked about just becoming modern, and unfortunately, when we do have to arrest somebody, we deal with a lot of mental health, people with mental health crisis, and going to a modern facility that protects them, it was key, and that was one of the important things of this new facility, and so this really makes it safer for everybody. You can see the floor is more of a rubber floor, so everything's able to be cleaned up a little bit. Do me a favor, just don't take a left. Unfortunately, we do have someone in one of our cells at this point, but what I'll do is, so we have a facility to keep people secure in safe places. We used to have like the old barred doors, and that just wasn't safe for anybody can do anything with those bars, hang things from them. And so so this is really a nice modern facility. I'll even take you in and show you one of our cells. You want to take a walk right through. So you can see we got no bars, nothing really loose, easy to clean, and unfortunately that is, when you're dealing with angry people and people like suffering from mental health concerns, they do a lot of things in cells, so protect them inside the cell. So it's limited to how someone could hurt themselves. So and that's always a major concern for me. So so you never want to see anybody hurt themselves. So it is good, and we have I think 80-something cameras in this facility. So it's, everything you do and say in the facility is recorded and heard. So it's very nice. That protects us.
Yes, it does, yeah.
I'll let everybody sneak back out. And we're gonna go. Thank you, I appreciate it. So we're gonna go right out to the garage again. I'm a guy, so I love the garage, but it's What's that? Oh, yeah. So like everything else, everything is about safety and security. So when you are inside a room like this, certain doors won't open. There's no way somebody can, like if someone will be arrested, they will get free inside here out of the handcuff. There's no way we can get up and give them no accommodation in the code. So it's also very important that when we go into this room, there's never a firearm in the room. Our firearms are locked away. But we don't want to take a firearm into a room and there's no firearm inside. And then we'll find what needs to handle the breaker. But you don't want to bring a firearm. Other than today, you will never have a firearm. All right, we'll take a walk out the side. 1, 2. And this is fantastic. Drive-through Sally board. You can actually come in, drop off prisoners, pick up prisoners, go right out that door, and hit the gate to drive right off the property. So it's, again, something we've never had. So it's, the other agencies are going to love coming here also. I think we're supposed to go out this way. After every snowstorm, and that covered parking is going to save so much time.
Yeah.
About it. And then before anything starts up, we'll walk.
This is our firearm simulator. It basically, for most people, it just looks like a video game. All right, that's pretty much what it looks like. We've all seen those games you've seen in the arcades where they got the fake guns and they're hunting and they're doing whatever, the zombie apocalypse and things like that. Yes, we can have those running here. Matter of fact, I was doing that with my 11-year-old son. But what we also have is we have other real-life situations where officers will come, they'll do some training. This doesn't actually simulate actually firing a real weapon. All right. Matter of fact, these, as you can tell, they look like they're guns, but they're not. They're the laser guns, basically, the same things as you would see in a video game. What we try to teach everybody is we still try to keep it, even though I just didn't do it. I understand I didn't do it. But we want everybody to treat them as if they are real guns and keep them facing downrange. We want to make sure that nobody plays with them. They're not really toys. They're also very expensive. Actually, more expensive than our real guns.
Oh, jeez.
Not even kidding. These things are more expensive than the ones that we use on duty. But what I was trying to get to is, for the scenario based, we actually have the options on most of the scenarios as to choose what happens based on what the officer does. So if the officer is giving good commands and doing good tactical evaluations of what he's doing, we can change the scenario. Whereas one scenario he may have to shoot, other scenarios he may not have. Based on their actions, it could force him or her to have to shoot, or de-escalate the situation to such a way where there's no deadly force used. We also have the options of using taser and OC spray. We're not set up for that today. All right, so if anybody wants to go through a scenario or two, I can actually absolutely put you through it. All right, at which point we'll give that officer other options. We also have the options of having a secondary officer with them. So you could have one officer using deadly force. In situations where there are 2 officers, usually we send 2 officers to most calls. If an officer shows up and all of a sudden there's a person there with a knife or a gun, now you're backing up somebody who could be using deadly force. But if we can de-escalate the situation using non-deadly force, of course, that's what we actually train to do. We don't want to do that. None of us come to work every day going, I want to use my gun. No. My gun wants to go in 2 places, my holster and my safe. Those are the only places my gun ever wants to go. That's the only places I ever want my gun to go. Except when I go to the range. That's a different story, but then I'm going to kill a whole lot of trees and paper. Other than that, this is where it belongs, nowhere else. Nobody wants to go through that. So that's why we're here, that's why we train for the situations. Now, the nice thing about the scenario-based stuff that we have here is it can constantly change. We're not actually going to be going through the same scenarios all the time, because by that point, we memorize them. But the Milo system constantly can update. We can get new scenarios, we can share scenarios with other departments, and things of that nature. We can actually create our own. So it actually is a reality-based. Does anybody have any questions?
How many departments actually have a facility like this?
They're actually growing. And
No,
that's-
but probably, locally, probably somewhere around 10. We actually went to all different facilities, Farmington, Avon, Manchester. We went to all the facilities to see what they had, and we decided based off what they had and what they recommended what we would do. So there are a number of agencies that do this, do have them.
And this is, whereas this one's not the basic one, it's also not one of the ones that are, where, I don't want to say we're middle of the road, we're definitely ahead of the curve, but there are other systems where, rather than just based on like here, there'll be extra cameras and extra ones where you actually are immersed almost in a 360 degree.
You can even have built-in driving simulators to go to respond to the call, so actually get trains and driving also. So it's, the new Britain's facility was crazy.
Some of the ones I don't think we'll ever, but I don't know if we'd ever really want one because the cleanup afterwards actually set up gun turrets where they're using airsoft pellets. So you'll actually be, the officers will actually be shot at. Yeah.